this debate has been going on forever, I feel. Should I use Yammer or should I use Teams? So I wanted to clear this up, show you a few of these things, talk about each of them separately, and then give you my perspective for what it's worth. All right. So I got them over here side by side. You can see this is Teams over here, and you got Yammer over there. Now let's go with Teams first. In Teams, you got these specific teams. So Store Portal is a team, VisualSP is a team, Retail is a team. In Yammer, it's not clear cut like that. Where is my other Yammer network? For that, I actually have to go into this gear over here. And in here, which is unfortunately it's not very clear cut, but this VisualSP Inc. is the other network. I wish this was better put over here. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And I get to the other network. Let me come back to the Contoso network. Okay, so within each network, or just like within each team, there's, in this case, groups. So you got operations and leadership. Okay, in Teams, you have different channels. You got general over here, you got general and NC460 sales over here. Now, I'm not saying that channels are exactly like groups, but that's just one way of thinking about it, right? So it's segmented out. You got different sections within the actual team or within the actual network in Yammer. All right. Now within Teams, you can have conversations, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you could do within the conversations with adding GIFs and emoticons and stuff like that. Same thing here. You go in here and you can add GIFs and other kind of stuff in here and Yammer as well. All right, you can follow people over here. In here, you can't really follow, but there's other actions you can take with different people. So at the end of the day, there's definitely a lot of overlap within Teams and Yammer. So of course, the question once again becomes, why should I choose Yammer or Teams? And exactly where did they all come from? So let me attempt to answer some of those questions for you. I have this huge slide deck, but I'm just going to take a few of them and show you. Teams versus Yammer. First of all, what's the difference, right? So let's talk about each of them by itself. Teams was built by Microsoft. And the back end of Teams is SharePoint, which unfortunately still a lot of people don't know this, that's how it's built. The back end of Teams is SharePoint. It's a chat-based workspace, and you're talking to people that you already know. So there's a lot of one-on-one chats and one-on-two few communication that's going on. Now, Teams cannot be used for a big company-wide communication because there's a limit of 5,000 members. So now if you have less than 5,000 people in the company, absolutely you could do that. But as of March 2020, there's a 5,000 member limit. So if you have a bigger company, you will want to use Yammer for big organized wide communication. So let's talk about Yammer here. First of all, Yammer was purchased by Microsoft. It was not built by Microsoft from scratch. It was purchased, the whole company was purchased in 2014, and then eventually it became part of Office 365, right? Broad discussion groups and which cross team boundaries. So as I was mentioning before, enterprise communication can be done through Yammer. It works really good with that. So enterprise communication and also enterprise social networking. What that means is that when you're trying to get to someone that you don't know, it's really good to be able to have those conversations, which are usually many-to-many conversations, many-to-many communication, trying to find people of similar interests and things like that. Discovering those you don't know. So same thing over here. Okay, now for the guidance as to what should I use, Teams or Yammer. So what I'm about to say right now obviously is my own thoughts. You can take it for what it's worth for you. For small teams, about 10 to 500 people, usually Teams only is enough, in my opinion. You're working with people that you know already, right? Now, if you have medium to large teams, which are more than 500 people, in this case, you want to have Teams and Yammer. Not Teams or Yammer, but Teams and Yammer, in my humble opinion. You're discovering people who you don't necessarily know through Yammer. You're working with people that you already know through Teams in that case. And also another really good scenario that you could do, and I've seen this happen, is executives can get a good feel for what's going on in the company for just by going into different groups, going into different networks within Yammer. It works really good with this scenario. Having said all that stuff, Please, 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 please be cautious to avoid redundancy. You don't want to use both Teams and Yammer if it's going to cause redundancy of operations of things that people do, because that's where things are going to get confusing. So use them only if you have a really good business case. Otherwise, use one or the other. Hope this helps.